Welcome to Trust AI Partners, where we dive into the cutting edge of tech innovation. Each episode, we explore how AI automation is reshaping today's industries and what that means for your business. If you want an inside look at the real world innovation and how you can get ahead, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Jim Hoover, and joining us today is Jen Glaser, co-founder of and vice president of ZippyPaws. With a background in pet product design and entrepreneurship, I'm excited to learn how Jen's journey from hand sketching toys inspired by her golden retriever in a garage to global brand leadership has shaped her perspective on building a business rooted in creativity, community, and the happiness of pets and pet parents everywhere. Jen, could you tell us a little bit about your journey and what first inspired you to enter the industry?
Yes, well, that was a great introduction, so thank you very much. My name is Jen Glaser. I'm the co-founder of ZippyPaws. I started the company with my dad in 2011. As I was finishing college, my dad had been in the pet industry as an importer and sourcer for about 15 years before I started. He wanted me to take over his business, and I wasn't really interested in importing. I didn't think that was very exciting for a 21-year-old. But I have a a long background in design and art. I've taken art classes ever since I could walk, and really interested in art and design. And when I was younger, I wanted to be an interior designer or a landscape architect, something along those lines. But I wanted to kind of leverage my dad's expertise in the pet industry to start my own brand. So ever since I was little, ever since I could remember, I always begged my parents for a dog. And when I was 13, my parents finally allowed me to get a golden retriever. And he was just my best friend through my teenage years and growing up. And he was just a great inspiration to me. And, when I was graduating college, I wanted to bring that youthfulness to the pet industry, the pet toy industry in particular. They on the market, there's a lot of just uh, really bland designs, squirrels or chipmunks, just nothing that really stood out to me as a young pet owner. So I just leveraged my dad's expertise in manufacturing and my own expertise in design, and I hand drew all of the designs that you see today. So I started the company in 2011, and focused on high quality materials and also hand drawn designs. And, almost 15 years later, here we are and we're still going strong. So, very thankful for the help that my dad, who is my co-founder, gave me, and the everybody's support since then.
And with to whatever degree you're comfortable sharing in that time period, I think you said 15 years.
Hmm.
It
15 years next year. Yeah.
next year. Okay, great. Well, that says a lot. It's quite a period of time. So, in the course of that 15 years, to what size and scale have you been able to grow the team today?
Well, in the height of COVID was when we were doing the most sales. We had a team about 38 people. And now this year we've downsized to about 22 people. But we haven't necessarily dropped in terms of volume that we do, maybe just a little bit, but we're operating on a leaner, smaller team now. I think it's for a small family run company like ours, it's very important for us to be lean and not to have too many layers of management or leadership. So I try to keep it very, very lean. We've been operating better and more smoothly with a smaller
Mhm.
team. So currently we're about 22 employees. Yeah.
And what does the model look like in terms of manufacturing or distribution? Is it one location, headquartered, global brand, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so we're headquartered in Chino, California, just outside of Los Angeles. We have a 57,000 square foot warehouse and office, so we all work from there. Some of my team is remote, and most of us go into the office. It's like a hybrid schedule for us. and we distribute out of this warehouse. We don't currently have any warehouses of our own anywhere else, but we do distribute to a lot of distribution within the US and also abroad. We're in, I believe, 35 or 40 countries now with exclusive distributors. And we work with a lot of different factories overseas in China, in Cambodia, and in India as well. We don't own any of those factories, but a lot of them have worked with my dad for coming up on 30 years now, because they worked with him before he actually started ZippyPaws with me. So a lot of that's why we've been so successful in the industry, because we have those long-standing relationships that allow us to be super quick with churning out new designs, and just the quickness, the turnaround. So if a customer wants a certain collection, we can turn around for them pretty quickly. So we've really leaned into that advantage that we have.
And what percentage of the business is direct to consumer, or is it all with retail partners and different distributing partners?
Yes, so our direct to consumer is very small. I would say under 5%. We mostly do distribution. And, I loop Amazon and Chewy under distribution as well, because we're not drop shipping to our customers. We're partnering with Chewy and Amazon themselves. So, direct to consumer on our website or a TikTok shop or something like that is very minimal for us as of right now. We're trying to grow that part, but it is a little harder sometimes because we're so well versed in distribution that changing gears sometimes or adding something is definitely a little bit challenging, because it's not my specialty for sure.
Yeah, sure. And so could you walk us through what that distribution acquisition funnel process looks like? And how are you acquiring these distribution partners, and how are you going about making the contact, engaging with them, and the entire acquisition?
Right, right. So to give a little bit of history, when I started ZippyPaws and it was just my dad and I, he worked on just the sourcing, the manufacturing. I did, all of the sales, warehouse, marketing, and all that. So in the beginning, we actually made our first sale on on eBay and Amazon. So we just started selling direct to consumer in that way, right? Doing FBA on Amazon and selling on eBay. And so in the beginning, we really started with like direct to consumer, and we built up our reputation that way and gaining organic reviews. So it was really, organic in the beginning and just growing our business that way. And about a year or two into the business, we started to get smaller stores. My first chain of stores was, I believe, like a 4-store chain in Orange County, down in Orange County, California, and they heard from us because they saw our stuff on Amazon and Chewy, Amazon and eBay, excuse me. And so they wanted to try our products. And we really grew in the beginning that way by cold calls, cold outreach. And this was 15 years ago. So cold outreach and attending trade shows, a Super Zoo and Global in our industry. So we've reached customers that way. And now a lot of companies, since we're so well known in the industry now, some of these distributors actually come to us and they want to carry our brand because their customers ask for us. So we've really built our reputation kind of from the consumer up. So using the voice of the consumer to build up a reputation and going about that way. But of course, with a lot of the stores that we're in, with like Target or Walgreens or Kroger, we've definitely had to do a lot of outreach and really convince them that we are the great partners to work with. And with Target, they just I believe they had about 40 brands, dog toy brands, in their inventory, and they just recently cut down to 8 brands, and we survived the cut. So it's just really a true testament to, how well we support our customers, and we treat our customers as our partners, right? So it's what would drive the most sales in your store and how we can help them. So we really built a reputation that way, and people slowly want to continue to work with us. And now we're expanding into convenience stores and other stores like Pop Shelf or Five Below. Those type of stores really see a big uptick in pet products as well. And we're for the sales team, they're always brainstorming on what other categories can we break into. And our goal for the future now is grocery trains and truck stops. They really have a big interest in carrying dog toys as well. So
So how would you describe the marketing strategy today?
the marketing strategy, well, okay, well, right now we're in kind of a transition phase because I've had to restructure my marketing team. But it's mostly about we do heavily invest in social media, and that's what we've always heavily invested in is with the branding and talking about our product lines and in our product quality and what our company stands for. So that's kind of like the main approach, and we do a lot of advertising with our vendors as well. So if we're in distribution, we do heavily advertise with them. So whatever advertising avenues they would like us to participate in, we do as well. And so that's been kind of our approach. We do advertise heavily on Amazon, on Chewy, with Target. So kind of just more vendor specific in that way. And, a few years back, we also heavily invested in licensed products. So with Marvel, we did a Spider-Man series. So we kind of leveraged that and
Hmm.
advertise us that way. Those partnerships have since expired. So we're kind of getting out of licensing, but that did well for us. And it really kind of solidified us as a leader in the industry that these brands trust us to make their, Spider-Man dog toys or Groot or, you know, the Marvel, collection. So, and we have done a lot of corporate sponsorships as well. So we first started our sponsorship with the LA Kings, which is a hockey team in
Hmm.
Los Angeles. And we did that for 3 years. And now we're about a year and a half into our new sponsorship with the LAFC, which is the Los Angeles Football Club. And, we just like to invest in our community and reach our fans that way, right? Within the Los Angeles community, and we attend a lot of shows, local events here as well. So we try to, make sure that our community is taken care of.
Yeah. And so, you had mentioned some of the changes that you've had to go through with making the team, reducing the team size, making things more lean and efficient over the past few years, and now looking forward, since you haven't taken a hit on your revenues, which is awesome. Have you thought about or considered other ways that you could leverage technology to explore new marketing channels, new revenue streams, to be able to grow the business to the next level? What does that look like over the next 12 to 24 months? And what's the biggest barrier holding you back from getting there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm always looking at ways to streamline everybody's jobs and to keep us as lean as possible. I think with less people, there's just less moving parts, and you can just have a tighter knit team, right? When you bring somebody else new in, it's just such a delicate puzzle, right? I know everybody is focused on their job, but sometimes you can't help but having these different characters, like a cast of characters come in and kind of mess with the equilibrium of my team. And I take, company team and culture very seriously. And, I don't want anything that messes up just the stability of the team. And I think when it's stable, we focus so much more sharply on our company goals. So if I can not bring somebody new on the team, I definitely err
Hmm.
on that side. So in terms of adding technology, we just actually added a warehouse management system. So the warehouse and the operations teams are working on implementing that, and I'm excited to see how that kind of streamlines the warehouse and operations side of things. And so I am very open to like adding new things to make things smoother. And constantly, we're always looking at ways to make the communication between our departments smoother and ways to organize our projects. And we have a lot of customers that want custom projects, custom toys. So there's always a lot of moving parts. So ways to improve that. I'm also in the process of thinking about that, and automating kind of our social media as well, and pushing out more video content. I think is a big um, priority of mine. That's why I do my podcast as well, is to just like start more video content. So
Hmm.
definitely in my mind, how to increase our output and to do more business while keeping the team very small and tight. So yeah, definitely.
What AI systems have you explored to automate some of that content for social media?
You know what? I haven't used AI for content so far. Um, I mean, truthfully, I am kind of technology, not the greatest at technology. It's kind of funny because people think that, the younger generation were pretty good, but I feel kind of old when it comes to implementing like new technology. So I do talk to my friends that are better at it, and I try to learn. Admittedly, I'm not the best, and I'm kind of old school. So we usually use just AI for like our menial tasks and cutting down kind of like the more tedious tasks. And we haven't had to outsource anything in terms of AI with like the marketing or the creative side. I know my team, my creative team just went to the Adobe Creative Conference in LA, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. So they've definitely learned some stuff to like, um, be quicker in Illustrator so that we can create more email designs in the same amount of time and things like that. But we haven't actually used any software to create that content so far.
Have you experimented at all with outbound cold email campaigns?
We have, yeah, but more like manual, and we use oh gosh, I can't remember that software that we use to scrape those LinkedIn. My sales team would know, but they
Hmm.
kind of find out who are the decision makers on LinkedIn, and cold email them. Yeah.
And what has been proven the most effective versus some examples that have not worked when it comes to your outbound marketing approach?
Yeah. The the best approach that we've found is definitely just more organic, at least for us. The more that we can go out there and meet people at events and getting their emails and stuff, those are our more loyal customers. And we try to use social media also to reach them. And if they like our posts or our products on social media, they tend to be the ones that are opening our emails the most. So we try to just reach them on a more personal level. And we also really hone down on specific target cities that also see. We use Google Trends as well to look at what cities we're trending in, and kind of focus our marketing efforts in those specific cities. And I feel that we know our customers pretty well, and we can kind of, with the ads on Google or Facebook, we can really target those people. And when we do a lot of that very specific targeting, our ads do really well. So.
Yeah, and so getting into that a little bit further, when you look forward over the next 1 to 2 years, what cities are you focused on for expansion and growth, and what does success look like at that time?
Yeah, so for us, we are seeing a lot of growth in the Northeast, in the New England states, and also in the South. So more on the East Coast. It's funny because we're on the West Coast, and of course California is a huge market for us. But in New York, just say like Vermont, and down in Florida. And what a hotspot that I saw recently was, I believe it was like Montana, either Montana or South Dakota. We see a huge uptick in just like Google Trends, and so I haven't really found out why that is, but we see that there is a big opportunity there. Maybe there are some people who are moving out of the big cities into some rural locations. I'm not exactly sure. But in terms of success, I definitely want to. Next year is our 15-year anniversary. So I really want to hone down our messaging, our brand messaging for the next 5 years. And I want to let people know what our company stands for and what we learned over the last 15 years, and what our renewed focus is, right? So I really want to. That's my job for the next month or two. Is kind of concising it down to like a really concise brand messaging, and I want to showcase that in all of our advertisements or our social media and all that. So that's kind of success to me. And we are also very doing very well overseas. So we just added a lot of, I believe, 5 countries in the Middle East and Asia as well. Russia just added us, and we just added a distributor in India. So we see a lot of interest for ZippyPaws overseas that I really want to capitalize on. And for that, I mean, obviously the world is very vast. So, how to spend our marketing dollars wisely in those countries, and what does that even look like for us? Because we're such a small team, we can't be, you know, operating and advertising in so many markets at once, and understanding, the nuances of every country and what their people
Hmm.
want. So that's something that I want to further look into. So that's kind of one of my projects.
Jen, what's been the toughest challenge recently that keeps you up at night?
um, well, sleep pretty well, honestly. My kids keep me up at night. But I think this year, especially, the tariff situation was very, very hard on me. And back in April, when everything was just up in the air, I definitely was, in the recent years, that was 1 month or two that I really was worried about the future of the business. Just the uncertainty, right? Not knowing how much I have to spend next month or next week on duties and tariffs, and how our customers are going to react to that, and how the market is going to react to that. That was very challenging a few months. But now I think I've been like war battle hardened. So, any changes in tariffs doesn't really sway me anymore. And I think, the market and the consumer, we're resilient. So I think I've proved to myself that we can, really go with the flow, and try to save money where we can. And with better planning, we can pass on those savings to our customers. So that's been very difficult. And, in recent years, of course, I did a couple of rounds of layoffs to get down to my now core team. So that was obviously very difficult. We're a small family run business, and I hate to get rid of, let go of people that have been very loyal to my company. And, it's never an easy decision, but, to survive the next few years, that's what I had to do. So those two have been very difficult for me, but now that we're coming out of the other side, it's looking, I'm optimistic again,
Hmm.
so yeah. And then I think, as I said, what we want to do for the next 15 years, right? And what does that look like? And
Hmm.
learning from the lessons that we've learned in the last 15 years, um, and seeing where the industry wants to see us, because sometimes I have an idea of what I want to do, but the industry, like the market, does not respond to that. So you kind of have to be adaptable to where people want to see you, right? Like what do people want ZippyPaws to be? So got to adapt to that as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I can definitely understand where that would be tough to make some of those decisions. And what are the most important KPIs that you're paying attention to track your progress?
Yeah, so I do a lot of direct import, so DI business. So I really look at kind of like the balance of like DI to domestic orders. That's been something that I've really like looked at closely in the last year or so, because you know um, we have a limited warehouse space. So I want to make sure that a lot of our business goes through a DI, because we can save a lot on labor here in the warehouse, and it's just a more balance of our expenses that way. And we've been really help focusing our international customers on DI business, and that really that has helped with our margins a lot, and it helped us to keep up our volume without adding to so much to our expenses. So that's something that I've really worked on the last year. And just the normal, I keep a very close eye on our balance sheet, and those those lines, I really make sure that we don't have any outside investment, so everything is just goes back into the company. So I have to make sure that we're always on track, and with the fluctuations in our revenue, it's just super important to look at those numbers and keep that in mind.
And if you had a magic wand and can fix one thing overnight, what would that be?
Wow, okay. I have not thought about that. There are always so many fires to put out. But I think right now, if I had a way to streamline all of our custom design projects, that would be amazing, because there's just so many moving parts and so many customers. And we're always working on many different collections at once. For example, the customer wants cat toys, and they want a Halloween program or a Christmas program, and we're just constantly working on all of those for all of our customers with all of our factories. And just like the details on every single product, the packaging, and what needs to go on the packaging, how they want to be um, packaged, and the case sizes, and all those little details, right? So, what kind of squeaker goes into which one? So, like, if I had a way to organize that better and streamline that better,
Hmm.
that would help us a lot, and probably get us a lot more sales that sometimes we miss the deadline on, of a submission, because we just don't have enough products available for them. I think that would really help me out a lot.
And I'm curious, what software technologies are you using so far to navigate that whole process?
Well, we use NetSuite mostly
Hmm.
to organize a lot of that, and um, honestly, we just use the old-fashioned stuff like Excel, Trello. We don't really use any technology in to like work on those type of projects, because you know what? Sometimes I don't know a better way to do it, and I just kind of keep to my old school tactics
Hmm.
in Excel. So I'm Excel I'm Excel whiz. Lots of lots of sheets going on all the time.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Well, I want to fix it, but I don't know how to fix it. So,
Before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd share with other leaders navigating similar challenges?
yeah, I don't know if I have any advice that hasn't been, said before. Um, but recently, because I've been so thinking about the last 15 years and where I want to be in the next 15, I've really had to kind of sit down with myself and really think about what really listen to like my guts, right? And I've recently learned that the gut is more, it helps with the brain, and the bacteria in your gut really is like interconnected with all parts of your body. So I've always said this, but like really thinking about sitting with like your decisions and seeing how that makes your body feel, and kind of like not making rash decisions and just seeing how your body reacts. So I think that's really cool, and I've been really focused on that. And sometimes when I'm making decisions, and if it gives me anxiety or it's just like I can't sleep at night, those are not the decisions that even though I might think they're right, um, those might not be the right decisions for me. And I'm kind of like more in tune with how my body reacts. And it kind of sounds weird, but it really works for me, at least right now. So I'm really letting my body and my mind tell me, okay, these are the right decisions for you. So I don't know if that's
I'm
helpful.
absolutely. I'm also a believer in good gut health. Which are you a kombucha or kimchi consumer?
Fanatic, but I try, when I can. Yes.
Yeah. I actually tried making kombucha at home before. That was an interesting
That's
process.
cool. That sounds like a COVID
Yes, yeah, it was
yes.
actually. Jen, was there anything else important that you wanted to highlight or talk about or put out there that we haven't discussed so far?
Yeah, so if I also have my own podcast, Dog Mom Podcast, and I interview people in the industry that I know, not just dog moms, but dog dads as well. We talk about kind of like the challenges of the pet industry, challenges of starting a small brand in the pet industry, and I also interview my own team members as well to kind of give people a little window into how we run things here and what our philosophy is. And if you like our brand, I hope you guys tune in. And just wanted to say that it's not easy being a small business, family-run business that doesn't take any investor money. We're up against the big guys all the time, and it's just been fun to carve out my own little niche in the pet industry, up against all that funding money. And pet has, in the last 5 or 10 years or so, hasn't seen a lot of investments from investor groups, and which is great because I think pets is such a still an untapped market, and there's a lot of money in this industry. But it's just been fun to carve out my own little niche and kind of stay true to my like family founded roots. Hopefully my kids take it over one day. I don't know if they want to, but just really enjoying kind of keeping it small and keeping it core to our roots. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Jen. And if our listeners want to learn more about ZippyPaws or connect with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Yeah, so ZippyPaws on all social media, ZippyPaws Toys on TikTok, and listen to my podcast, Dog Mom Podcast. Yeah,
Perfect. Well, that's all for today. We'll see you on the next one.
thank you so much.